Welcome to the weekly review number 14. This week, I did not manage to find any extra valuable lessons, unfortunately, but I did indulge into a lot of reflections, and there are things that I want to share. I spent multiple mornings and afternoons this week just walking outside thinking about life. Specifically, about happiness, about faith, about the purpose and the meaning of humans. And there are things, specifically words, that make everything way harder than it should be. First of all, we don't actually know what actually means good and what means bad. We don't know these terms. Even though we have designated a certain meaning to both of these, there is no proof. There is no definite proof that those are truths. And what I finished to coming up to after hours of reflections is that everything is based on faith, on our beliefs. From the moment that we are born, we immediately consume knowledge and we get new abilities. We learn more, and we also learn to produce some of our own beliefs. And everything that is being taught to us, and all of the information that we've absorbed throughout our life, all of it is based on whether we believe that something is true or not. And so, our main goal as humans is to work our entire lives by searching for the best beliefs according to us and to other people. We should always communicate with others, see what others think, and try to incorporate, if possible, other beliefs that might seem that they can connect together. And this way, we can formulate and create our own perception of this world. One thing that is very important to remember is that there are multiple worlds in our lives. And it is important to distinguish them and to grow in each of them. The first one being the real world, the one in which we are walking. Even though we don't know if any of this is real, if we are real, if our words are real, if this table is real, if anything of this is real, we don't know any of that. We can only choose to believe that it is real and just not break our brain with this. The second world that we live in is created by all of the others. It is the digital world. It is the world that is manipulated by other humans, by other social circles. And the last world, which might and is arguably the most important for us, is our own world in our mind. This one is the most important one. We can create it from scratch, and we can choose how does it look. If your own personal world in your brain is messed up, then your appearance and all of the rest in the real world will also be disturbed. Going a little bit back to the time that I told about my reflections, I've also came to an interesting conclusion. As humans, we do value life, and we have two pillars of importance in our life. The primary one is survival. It is to get energy, food, water, and reproduction. And a secondary pillar is help ourselves, help our close ones, and help all of the others. But the problem with this is that some of us, some humans, unfortunately, that would be the word that I would choose, do not think the same, and they just have a different mindset, or the chemistry that is going on in their brains is just different and makes them think completely differently. And in that case, life isn't their main priority anymore sometimes. But our foundation and our existence as humans is based on life. And if we take life of the equation, there's nothing left. So far, in 20 years of my life, I have no idea to the answer to the question, what is a human without life? Another important topic that I thought about was happiness. And with happiness, it is also very interesting. Our ancestors, and still some organisms to this day, don't have any feelings as far as we know. And all they do is get energy and reproduce. That's all they do. And they do not feel happy or sad. They just live. Life is their main goal. Unless they are deficient in some shape or form. By all of this, I want to say that we don't need to be happy all of the time. Happiness, of course, can be a very nice touch to add in our lives, and to have a smile, to have confidence, to just walk through life as a bright moment all of the time is a very great thing. And the only issue that is messing with this happiness and all of the other good emotions are the negative emotions. And if you get rid of those negatives, and even if you don't have any of the positives, you'll stay in a neutral state and you will be able to live life as usual with nothing bad, no suicidal thoughts, no bad feelings, simply existing. And that's it. So these were my conclusions throughout this week. Of course, finding all of the answers and making beliefs for yourself is a journey that you have to go through all of your life, and that probably will never have an answer, and you'll just have to blindly choose one of your beliefs and stay confident in it and follow it for the rest of your life. Of course, questioning it when it is necessary. Changing the topic, I want to mention quickly journaling. I've noticed that we don't even need to write down a journal, that make diary. We don't need any of that. If you simply take a portion of your day where you reflect on what you did, what happened, what was your behavior, and what the lessons you take from that, this is more than enough and can add so much benefit to your life. So that would be my advice. For you to simply take a moment in your day, in a week, in a month, if you find yourself indulging or spending a lot of time in a certain activity, then review it. Review how you see that activity. Review what that activity is doing with you. And adjust it accordingly. And one last thing that I did find out kind of the hard way. It is important first to mention that what I'm about to say does not apply to everyone. Every one of us is highly individualistic, and all of us have our special strengths and weaknesses. Now, in my personal case, in my own experience, well, if we do indulge into activities that provide instant gratification, such as media or video games, even though if we do accompany both of these with some great stuff, as I mentioned the previous week, such as communication or shallow tasks, still, both of these do affect our brain and they do bring us down. So we will not only be wasting our productivity and some time while we are indulging in these, but our brain will also need quite some time to then forget about these and be able to switch to discomfort and hard mode of life again. For some of us, this period will be shorter. For others, it will be longer. And so that's another thing that is very important to remember. When you choose to relax and indulge into an activity that will bring you some pleasure, make sure that you are aware that the moment after you stop that activity, not everything will go back to its track immediately. And you will need some time to go back to your normal self. Your brain is a very capable organ. It absorbs everything and it is very plastic. Just make sure to be careful about all of that. This will be it for this weekly review. Just before the end, I want to mention that I have a few ideas for some extra videos in between the weekly reviews. And right now, I want to focus on making a few videos on the previous modules of my university. I found a lot of value in them, and I'll try to produce some videos that would include all of the value and all of the good information from those modules from semester 1. I will not center them around physiotherapy, but rather try to make them such as general knowledge and simply as value to what you are doing, to what you should know, and how you should go about life. Thank you for listening.